start the official opening. Thank you, David. Today is a very special day in the history of Dursley Rugby Club. On behalf of the senior men, the ladies rugby, mini and youth and the running club, I'd like to welcome everyone here today. I'd also like to just identify one or two groups. We do in fact have some what we call 1953ers. I think 3 of them are here who played way back in that first game against Keynes Cross in 1953. We also have obviously a lot of past players and officials of the club. I'd also like to welcome those from the community, district, parish and county councillors, and all those from the local village who support us year in and year out. The next group is in fact the rugby community. We've got the Stroud Combination Clubs. We have their chairman, Simon Collier-Bristow, the chairman of the district. We have the county, and it's good to welcome Jeff Tyler, our president, Peter Williams, the chairman, and many other representatives, but one in particular is Adrian Sidorn, who is the facilities and funding sector head for the county. The next group that I would like to welcome, and it is probably the most important, and those are the sponsors and those who have supported this project. It is great that what you have done for us, and Simon, our chairman, will be saying more later. It's good to reflect, I think, at this time on the history of the club. Just very briefly, rugby was first played up on Stinchcombe Hill there in 1888. It went through various phases through to 1950, when rugby virtually disappeared. And the late Ron Martin, ably supported by J.V. Smith, who's here today, got this club moving. And it was very useful to have J.V. in our pocket insofar he went on to be the county president and the president of the Rugby Football Union. Welcome to you today, J.V. So the club started up in 53. It grew. By 69 we had 3 teams and had run out of space on the Wreck and the King's Head. So we moved up here to the Stragglers. And the rest really is history. The club has grown. We now have the ladies, the men's, the minis and youth, of which we've got approaching 500 in the mini and youth section, and the running club, which when it moved up here was fairly modest numbers, and I gather the count this week was 274. So that really adds to what we're doing. The other good thing is cricket is going to start again up here on the 1st of May. So things are going well in that direction. Shortly I will be introducing you to our club captain Jack Robson and to our chairman Simon Billis. Simon is going to be thanking all and sundry in his speech, but there's one person not on that list, and that is Simon himself. Simon has been chairman of this club since 2010. There have been radical changes. We have progressed superbly during that period, and Simon's leadership, leading from the front, his general assessment of the situation and keeping things moving has been phenomenal. He has been backed, of course, by many other people, but I think the guy there at the top as chairman deserves a round of applause from everybody. Hear, hear. Just finally, I've been an active member of this club as a player, official, for approaching 55 years, the last 16 as president. I'm very proud of this club, and so are all the members. We also feel very grateful to all of you here who are not necessarily members of the club, but give us your tremendous support year in and year out. So, in welcoming you here, thanks to everybody, and I would now like to pass over to our club captain, Jack Robson.
Cheers, John. Just want to start by saying thanks very much for everybody who turned out today. It's great to see so much support for the club. I'm just here to fill you guys in a little bit on what this has done for us as a senior section. We actually run 4 teams now in the seniors. We've got 3 men's teams and a ladies team. So now we can have 3 home teams on a Saturday, which is brilliant. All the change rooms are self-contained. They've got their own showers, so we can have ladies teams, men's teams, which is fantastic. You know, for the future of the club, it's a big thing. It's also bought some other stuff. The men's county have asked to use this as their training base this year, which is obviously quite a privilege for us. I'm sure there's going to be plenty more of that sort of stuff to follow on. But I'd also like to say a couple of thank yous before I disappear. Big thank you to everyone who helped in all the fundraising for the club. You guys, too many people to mention, you did a fantastic job. And also everybody who come and played a part in getting the club looking so nice for today. Scott Udall in particular did some excellent work. So guys, give yourselves a big round of applause, and I'll pass you back to John.
Thank you, Jack. I've already said a few words which almost serve as an introduction to our club chairman, Simon. Simon, as I've said, is a key figure here, together with a great support team. So I'll pass you over now to our club chairman, Simon Billis.
Thank you, John. I feel like I'm being set up slightly, but thank you for your very kind words, and I appreciate your support.
We did
with that.
rehearse it yesterday.
Well, you didn't rehearse that bit, to be fair. Okay, so just over 4 years ago, in January 2013, we began the process that has culminated in the building you see behind you today. And my task is to thank people who have made this possible. And I believe the scale and the quality of this building represents 2 main things. It represents the effort of the club members who have contributed to it, whether that be fundraising activities, bag packing in supermarkets, cake sales. There was a leg wax, a sponsored head shave, you know, all that kind of thing. Not me, by the way. So, huge thank you to them, but also those club members that smaller group of people who have devoted huge time and energy in skillfully managing this project from its inception, getting planning consent, right the way through to managing the build phase of the project. The second thing I think it represents is the faith that a lot of people here today had in our ability as a club to deliver a scale of this quality and this ambition. Whether you're a local resident that supported us in planning, whether you're representing a council, a funder, or an individual who helped us, you've demonstrated you believe that we could deliver this, and we have done that, but it's because you had that belief that we've been successful. As a passionate rugby man, I absolutely understand the value and benefit of teamwork, and this applies in Dursley to our activities off the pitch as well as on it. And teamwork is epitomised in this new building, and without this approach we wouldn't have been able to make it possible. So my thanks to everyone, young and old, club member and non-member, funder and supporter. Your help has been essential in all your different ways. Why do we need these new changing rooms? Simply speaking, as Jack has said, it transforms the way we can support our membership. We have a wide number and also a huge range of participants now in terms of age, male and female players. And we need to be able to support that activity effectively. So this building will provide decent facilities for all of our members, and importantly catering for boys and girls sections, the ladies section and the growing Dursley Running Club, so that people can be in that building in a safe and secure way at the same time. Now, while it's true there's a whole host of people we've already thanked, and it's too many to mention, it is my pleasure to express thanks to some key individuals and organisations. Firstly, the scheme has required the skills of a small number of club members as part of the project team, and we're fortunate indeed to have people within the club who have those sorts of skills, but most importantly, they're willing to devote their time to deliver something like this, and don't underestimate how much time that takes. I can't name them all, but I feel I do need to take this opportunity to name a few of them. Bill Grant, Roger Batty and David Dungworth, who led the project in one way or another. Roland Holford and Andy Hugginson, who led the design, specification and tendering phase, because we had to go through that process. Ken Eales, who led that huge fundraising effort. And last but certainly not least, Phil Sprague, who project managed the build phase of the project, which was enormously complex and time consuming. And if you want to know about it, he will tell you. But not in a boring way. The bulk of the funding has inevitably come from grant applications and various fundraising bodies, and also support in kind and donations, and many of those are represented here today. So my special thanks go to Smiths of Gloucester and Alan Smith for the hugely generous provision of the groundworks and other in-kind support. E.G. Carter Company Limited, who are our main contractor. Simon Littlewood, architect. And the following organisations whose generosity made this possible. Rafina Company Limited and Richard Bartlam. Richard's here somewhere, thank you Richard. Colamara Limited and Paul Hollingworth, thank you Paul. Gloucestershire Playing Fields Association, and I know they're represented here today. Gloucestershire County Council Active Together and Children's Activities Programme. Sport England, Geotechnical and Neil Parry. The Rugby Football Union and the Rugby Football Foundation. The Gloucestershire Environmental Trust and the Summerfield Charitable Trust. All of those contributions were hugely significant, in fact essential to what we've got the pleasure of opening today. Plus of course all those members of Dursley Rugby Club and Dursley Running Club who gave generously of their time and money. Quick word about the future, and it will be quick. The project and the detail that has gone into this has tried to future-proof us in terms of changing facilities, but also the utilities that support it and now support the main clubhouse. But it was only ever one important part of an overall plan for the club. And in our business plan, and yes we do have one, this is phase 3 of a 5-phase plan. Phase 1 was the purchase of the land behind me, which gives us the car park and the paddock and that new pitch, and actually it's impossible to imagine how we managed without that space, less than a decade ago. Phase 2 was the initial refurbishment of the clubhouse a couple of years ago. This is phase 3. Phase 4 is developing the old changing rooms, and phase 5 is the essential provision of some kind of all-weather training surface, because the footfall we have here on just about every day of the week really takes its toll on our pitches. So there are plenty more things to do, and we look forward to your support in helping us with those. But it's now my absolute pleasure to move on to the ribbon cutting part of the proceedings, and I'm going to invite up some very special people to help us with that. So I'd like to welcome up from the Minion Youth section Josh Holloway from the under-17s and Talia Tongaweer from the under-7s. Jack Robson, the men's club captain. Katie Thompson, the ladies rugby captain. And from the running club, James Drennan and Olive and Charlie Jones. If you could all make your way up, please.
There's a buffet in the main building. If they could go and partake of the buffet first, while the rest of the rugby club and the running club etc. go to the barbecue or even the bar, and then we'll swap round, okay?